Tell me something else about Rio or Brazil in general. Teach me something, I don't know.
You go to the bailes.
Huh?
Baile. You know what it is? It's a party. It's happening in the favelas.
Ah.
And it's a party for the persons who lives there. It's just a crazy parties.
But it's only for the people that live in those favelas.
No, you can go, but it's a reality and from your face.
Reality.
Yeah, it's that reality. The favela on your face, you know.
I had to go with somebody from there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't just show up.
It's not so good to
Go
to
wandering
alone,
off. Yeah, as a foreigner.
But it's very, very fun.
But if you're a Brazilian from a different favela and you go to another favela, is it a problem? Yeah.
It's not so good.
No.
You make this.
Mix.
Yeah. It's a complicated.
You'll take me one day?
Yeah, of course.
And just like that, at that moment, I made it my personal mission to attend a Rio de Janeiro favela baile. Now, me and my friend here, we played phone tag and she was supposed to take me up to the favelas, but we could never get on the same schedule. So funny enough, even though I'm in Rio and I'm meeting people, I'm making friends, and I'm making these arrangements to go to a baile in a favela, but I just happen to be at a nightclub. I'm just having a random conversation with somebody that I just met that night. And for whatever reason, I got on the subject of bailes. And she was like, my friend, the DJ, she goes to these bailes all the time. I'm like, oh, wow, we have a mutual friend in common because I'm friends with the DJ. Finding out we had a mutual friend in common, this person immediately became my friend. That is where the trust came into play because, we have a mutual friend in common. Then I felt comfortable going up to the bailes with her. The DJ was still working, but she was going to head up there later. Me and this person who I just met, we leave in a taxi. And also this taxi driver I was friends with also, because one thing, it's a little difficult to find a person that'll take you up into the favelas. I've found, like, if you try to get an Uber up there, you might have a hard time. But this taxi driver I knew, he was friends with another friend of mine. Like, he was a mutual friend, so pretty much. So we pull up to this favela. He gets as close as he can get to the party. I open the door and I'm feeling bass vibrate through my entire body. You can hear the Brazilian funk music and the party is far away, but the sound system was unbelievable. There were dozens of towers of speakers all throughout the street. We were walking for a few minutes, and the closer we got, just the intensity of the bass. And by the time we got up to the party, it's a big block party. Oh, and it's like 3 a.m. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I've been to a lot of concerts and clubs. You're talking to a guy who used to have, back in the day, I had 4 12-inch kickers in the trunk of a Toyota Camry. I know what bass feels like. I've never experienced anything like this. The sound was incredible. The bass, it felt like a earthquake. She beelined straight to like this VIP section right under the DJ booth. Like, the DJ is on this elevated platform. There was this big circus tent, I guess in case it rained. Yeah, it looked like a music festival. So she makes a beeline straight to the DJ booth, and they had like those metal like police barricades, like kind of sectioning off this area. And there were like little, like, it was all standing room only in the street, but there was this little section with tables, like almost like bottle service. Like, it was crazy. I guess because she knew the DJ, and like, so we go in there and, this is the DJ of the favela. Like, we have the mutual friend who's DJing at the club, but this is the DJ that's DJing the baile. So she knew him. They open up this big, industrial freezer, like the kind of freezer that you see in supermarkets where they keep the steaks. They open that up hand me a beer. It was like an unreal experience. Now, on this day where my friend prepped this meal for me, and I hope made a whole separate video about this that I'll link here if you want to check it out. But one thing that I didn't record is after she told me about the bailes, she asked me, "Are you afraid of guns?" And my response was, "Should I be afraid of guns?" And she said, "Well, some people, they go up to the baile and they see these guns and they, if they're afraid of guns and they're very uncomfortable." But she was like, no, there's no issue or anything. But she did warn there could be a problem if the police decide to raid the party, then it could be a problem. There could be like a shootout, So there was that caveat. And I didn't take any video. Obviously, I knew that it would be a bad idea to pull out my phone and start recording because there were lots of guns out there, like machine guns. I was amazed. I was seeing guys walking around with headpieces, like earpieces, like Secret Service. It was crazy, the amount of guns. People just walking through the party with guns, with guns pointed up, just walking around casually, not on any like intimidation tactic, just, I don't know, just, I guess, prepared for anything to pop off. I don't know. And these people were walking right by me. A couple times I had a guy like tap me on the shoulder. I turn around and it's this dude with this big gun in his hand. And he's just asking me to politely step to the side so he can get through the crowd. It was crazy. It was crazy. The sun came up, party's still going. I think it was like 8 a.m. It's kind of weird being in a party like that when it's just broad daylight. Like, it's one thing you're in a club, it's dark, but when it's like bright light, like daylight, full sunlight, it is kind of strange. At that time, I'm like, let's get out of here. So here's the story. So we're having a good time. We're getting beers from the bodega every now and then, cut through the crowd, and then we would go back to our spot. So we're at the baile for a few hours, and eventually my friend arrives, the DJ, and she's got a small entourage of people with her. So one person in her entourage is this older guy who's, well-dressed and like he never says a word, but she like points me out, and she was surprised to see me. She didn't know that I was going to be there. But there I was. She points over to me and she says something to the older guy in her entourage, and he comes over and stays with us. And he never says a word. And in my mind, I'm thinking, looking the guy up and down and assessing the situation, I'm thinking this is like some heavy in the neighborhood who's there to watch our back, right? Well, fast forward when it's time to leave, he says, "Oh, are you going to Copacabana?" And, the whole time I'm thinking he's Brazilian, but he's speaking English. And he's like, "Oh, let's split a cab out there." So we do that. We head back to Copacabana. The guy is explaining to me that he's lived in Brazil 8 years. And that was his first time ever going to baile in the favela. And he said it's something that he's always wanted to do. And he was like coming down off the same high that I was, just like the visual experience was insane. And he was riding that high, like adrenaline was just like a crazy experience. Like, I just found it funny that this guy who's been living in Brazil 8 years had never gone up there, but had always wanted to. And, I will say, like, I had a few people that were going to take me to the baile in Vidigal, but this was not Vidigal, the favela that we went to. I had many Brazilians that work the clubs or work security or taxi drivers or whatever saying, "Man, are you sure? Like, don't go, man, don't go." Like, everybody telling me it's a bad idea, bro. Stay here, stay at home, But that's the risk. That's the risk you take. And my understanding is the big risk is if the police show up. That's when it could be a big problem, because it's just going to be a war. Basically, it's going to be police shooting at the crowd and guys in the crowd shooting back, and it's just going to be ugly. So there's always that risk, You head up there and your passport is not going to save you. You know what I'm saying? The bullets don't care about your citizenship or the fact that you're a tourist. So for that reason, all I can say is the experience was crazy. And I'm glad that I went, but I'm not going to tell anybody else to go because I'd be lying if I said, oh, it's all good. It's not dangerous. It is definitely, I mean, these guys are ready for war. I mean, there's big guns. And yeah, definitely, if you're afraid of guns, do not go. You probably won't have a good time. You're probably going to be very uncomfortable because it's not just a couple guns. There's like a whole squad, a whole battalion of guys with guns. And the guns are in hand. The guns are out in open. They're not holstered. They're in their hands, pointed up, ready for anything that might pop off. So yeah, take that into consideration. But it was just a crazy experience. And I was just thinking, like, imagine you live in one of these homes. I mean, talk about a noise complaint. I couldn't imagine having to sleep and having to wake up early the next day. It's impossible. But I mean, hey, that's what it is to live in a favela. You know, they make the rules. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you ever want to see real, just like my friend said in the beginning of this video, it is a reality right in your face. It's so strange because had I not asked her that question, I would have had no idea about this. I had never heard of a baile. She schooled me right there on the spot. It was an experience that I will never forget. One of the most craziest experiences of my life. And I've had a lot of crazy experiences in my life as an international traveler. But this was something else. Yeah, if you're curious, head up there. Hey, but don't say I didn't warn you. Proceed with caution. What you need to do is find somebody that you can trust, somebody that is either from that favela or somebody that has family or good friends in that favela. And don't head up there alone, not knowing anybody. And don't head up there with a bunch of tourist buddies that don't know anybody. I wouldn't even go in a large group of tourists, even if you do know somebody, because you're just going to stand out. Like I was walking through the crowd. It was so packed that, you know, I was accidentally bumping into people left and right. And I would just be like, oh, disculpe, oh, you know, sorry. But every time somebody accidentally bumped into me, it was, oh, sorry. Like, you know, like everybody's extremely respectful, you know. Oddly, I'm the one that was trying to maneuver through the crowd and accidentally bumping into everybody. Everybody up there is extremely, like, it's not like going to a party in the States where, you know how it is, parties in the States. It's like nobody's respectful. At this party, everybody is respectful, even though there's a million, probably because there's a million guns out. You know what I'm saying? You better be on your best behavior. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I never felt, even with all the weapons out, I never felt fear or intimidated or like something bad was going to happen. And mind you, who I went up there with, I had just met them, you know, but obviously they gained my trust because we had that mutual friend in common. Had we not had that mutual friend in common, I would have definitely got to know them first before just heading up there. You know what I'm saying? And I would suggest, you know, you do the same.